Who am I here with?
My name is Dimitri Lascaris. I'm a lawyer and a journalist and activist.
Nice. So, what's your thought and what is happening with Israel and the Palestinian war that's happening right now? Any input?
Well, basically, the Palestinian people have been deprived of their right of self-determination to have their own state for decades. They tried, in all seriousness, to negotiate with Israel for a just solution to the problem how to divide up the land of Palestine. But Israel, supported by Canada, the United States, all the Western states, has adamantly refused to cede any territory to the Palestinian people and is constantly, in fact, taking their land through settlements in the occupied West Bank. And it's reached now a point where one can only call it a system of permanent apartheid, and it's been even escalated beyond that to a genocide in Gaza. So the way to solve this grotesque injustice is to put pressure on Western governments to stop supporting the state of Israel until it gives the Palestinian people justice.
Who am I here with?
I'm Brian Lyons.
Okay. What are some issues you find you want to address in society here?
Housing is a problem.
Okay.
It's almost like I'm in a jail. I've lived where I lived for 20 years, and since the COVID-19, the landlord's been trying to throw me out. And they use very, very bad tactics. They lie in court. Now, in the court system for landlord-tenant things, It's the Star Chamber. There's no audience, you know. It's like all over the internet, and nobody knows what's fucking going on with the tenants for Ottawa housing. It's all behind closed doors. So I went to go to the hearing, and that was back in July, eh? And
July 2023?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what happened? They got an order to throw me out, and I looked at this freaking thing, and it said he didn't pay no rent from here to here. Mm-hmm. And the lying bastards, okay? I caught him on a lie.
Okay.
Yeah, I paid 4 months' rent. So I brought that down to legal aid, where they had told me the first time I went, pay the fucking rent, yo, and get the hell out of here. We're not going to represent you. That's legal aid, eh? Mm-hmm. So I went back with my bank statements, and all of a sudden, the executive that runs the place comes in and says, I'm taking the case. We'll go back to court. We'll fight for you. Mm-hmm. And they say I'm a hoarder. Now, at 74, you got to have some possessions, you know? Yeah. I collect things. I have 2,000 comics between 1984 and 96, worth lots of money.
1980, yeah.
Okay. They're 40 years old now. I got lots of things collectible. I got 100-year-old furniture. I got books from the turn of the last century. Okay, the last century. I collect technology that goes out of date because I think that people are going to wake up someday and they're going to go, oh, the last it was better in the old style, not the new one. Eh? Mm-hmm. The new format is formatted so you'll get rid of your old stuff and buy new stuff. Okay, keep the economy going.
Yeah,
like bells and whistles, eh? Sorry?
Money cycling in and out.
Well, money and trading hands, but see, poor people, they don't have money. They're on fixed incomes. Like I was in this store the other day, their independent grocery, eh? Mm-hmm. And just before the checks came out for everybody that's poor, ODSP, welfare, senior citizens, potatoes were $3.99 for a 10-pound bag. And go in there today, and they're $6.99.
Yeah,
after they jacked it up. Mm-hmm. So this is how they keep people poor.
Yeah.
And my landlord says, oh, you got too much stuff. I said, what do you mean stuff? I got 8 pairs of shoes. What, I can't own 8 pairs of shoes?
No.
You're fucking right I can. I'm a shoemaker. And I know you should alternate your shoes every day. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, they start to get smelly and stinky and they wear out quicker.
Yeah.
So... But I'm retired now, and I fiddle around with my collection, and I've got 6 cats, and I love them dearly, and I take care of them, and that's what I live for, my cats. But they want to throw me out. And the Ottawa office, I got a deal with them, and now they had a a hearing in Toronto.
Okay. So you have to go to Toronto?
No. My lawyer. I took it to my lawyer here.
Okay.
The same lawyer I had, and it says it just said file before yesterday or the December 1st, and then we have a new hearing.
Okay.
But it's a hearing behind closed doors. There's no public access.
So it's just you,
Me,
and,
my lawyer, the adjudicator, any witnesses I may bring, and any witnesses the landlord may bring. So they got pictures of
private.
Well, my place being messy. See, and I didn't know it, but my cats they contribute to the mess. They tear apart the cardboard boxes.
Yeah. I mean, you have 6. Like, come on. They want things to play with.
No. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, they tear one side of the box apart, and then they jump on the box. The box splits open, falls all over the floor. Extra work. But, I'm a positive thinking person.
I like that.
I have a God. I have faith. And I know God is not going to make me homeless at 74 years old. That's absolutely absurd.
You think Biden supporting Israel and backing them spoke to the people a lot and see where he's standing on this issue?
I think Biden's support is absolutely critical to the sustenance of this injustice. Without that support, Israel is the biggest recipient of U.S. military aid in history. It gets $3.8 billion a year, every year, without which it could not do what it does to the Palestinian people.
Yeah. But there's more into that, but I don't want to go into that part. But I think here, our government here in Canada does support Israel as well from what I can
100%.
see. There's a lot of Israeli and the parliament that support it, so they back them more from what I'm seeing. But to solve the issue with the water, do you think a two-state solution would kind of put a stall on the war so we can maybe see what would work best for that country to help them?
In theory, that is a solution, and in fact, it's the one that the UN has called for repeatedly. But the problem is, and I mentioned that Israel has been building settlements on the West Bank, which was supposed to be for a Palestinian state, and there's now so many settlements, so many Israelis living on that land, that practically speaking, a two-state solution may no longer be possible, in which case you have to have a single state where everybody has equal rights. Everybody is a citizen, everybody can vote. Israel has so far deprived some 4 million Palestinians of the right to vote in Israeli elections. So that's why fundamentally it's a system of apartheid.
Do you think there's a lot of homeless people now after COVID? You find?
Way more. I've seen people in the park. I go to this park up the street, Dundonald Park, and it's conveniently between Tim Hortons and the beer store. So you want to have a coffee and a donut, you want to have a beer, go to the park, have a great time.
It's like close by.
No, one across the street from the other. You know? So it's very convenient. And I met a lot of people in the last 3 years in that park, and they're all very encouraging. And but my faith, back to my faith, I'm positive that I'm not going to become homeless. God wouldn't allow it, but just ain't going to happen. And that's what I told my lawyer back in July. I said, when we have this hearing, I have 1,000% confidence in you, because God and me and you, who can beat us? No one. And we won. I'm not homeless. They've been trying for 2 years now.
2 years. So this case has been going on for 2 years.
Since November of 2021.
Wow.
They had this ruling. Okay, this is the interesting thing. See, the province, everybody thinks subsidized housing is a subsidy for you. Well, not a subsidy for you, man. It's a subsidy for the landlord. That way, he gets the unit subsidized based on the income that's going into the unit. And then he charges accordingly. Now, they have rules on ODSP. If you live in subsidized housing, the landlord can only charge, Ottawa Housing could only charge $125 for a single person. But senior, I pay $406, same fucking apartment.
It should be less, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be. I'm a senior.
Yeah.
But my subsidy is less. Anyway, for all these years, I filled out these forms for the landlord. And back in 2022, they inundated me with paperwork so much that I couldn't think straight. It affected my mental health, and I couldn't comprehend what they were saying, because they'd say things like, either you do this or we're going to do that. And I'm going, that's very confusing, you know. Clean this up, throw this out, or we're going to proceed to have you evicted, sort of thing. And this either or.
But isn't it your stuff? You're paying rent?
Yeah, I pay rent, my stuff. And the fire marshal passed me. Fire marshal said nothing wrong with this place. And they harassed me. And a year ago, October, we got cockroaches. Mm-hmm. Okay, now
in the entire building?
No, in my unit.
You're
They're trying to tell me I'm the only one with cockroaches, and I know around the corner got treated with cockroaches, downstairs got treated with cockroaches. In all the buildings of Ottawa Public Housing, there is a crisis with cockroaches. Now, what the landlord did when I told him, he said, send me a letter, another paperwork. And I'm not a secretary. I don't run an office.
Yeah, a lot of
I'm
paperwork.
a shoemaker. Okay, and I got bags of paperwork from the landlord over the last 2 years about do this or else, do this or else, do this. And what they said was, don't throw anything out. After they told me for a whole year, throw stuff out. Now, they about face, kind of confusing. And I'm going, well, what are we going to do? And he says, well, don't do nothing. Don't spray nothing. And don't throw anything out, because we don't want them running around the building. And I sat there for 2 days, and I watched them go from 2 over there to 20 over there, and 20 over there, and 100 over there, and literally thousands everywhere. And that went on for 3 days, and I sprayed.
Then you sprayed?
Oh, fuck yeah. I sprayed 4 cans of this stuff I bought at the dollar store here, and they stopped bothering me. And the landlord did not come in my apartment for over 60 days.
60 days.
60 days.
So that's 2 months.
That's right. And I got an opinion from this guy that works at the museum, a bug guy, eh?
Okay.
And
specialist.
Yeah, specialist. Okay. And he says that if they waited 60 days, there's no way they're ever going to get them out of there.
They breathe up fast.
There are that many, but I've managed to keep them down. And I got sick cats, and they like to eat them.
Protein.
They catch them.
Protein,
yeah. Well, lots of people eat bugs.
Yeah.
Fried unknowingly, mostly unknowingly. But because I ate chocolate-covered ants once when I was a kid. But
when you were a kid? How?
Kid. Oh, they were at the deli. Chocolate-covered ants.
Huh.
Okay, the ants in chocolate. A little crunchy, you know?
Yeah. Was it good, though? Was it good?
Can't remember.
How did you find out? How did you find out there was ants chocolate? Or did they tell you?
No, they were sold chocolate-covered ants at the deli.
They tell you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a snack. And, little kids were daring each other.
You know?
So
they'll make bets then, I probably.
No, we didn't bet.
No,
We're kids.
I think, even then, I dare you to do this, shit like that.
Well, we didn't. No money.
Money. Okay.
No money.
All right.
So I live on a very small pension, and I didn't file this paperwork that they wanted back. I go back to that one, and that's when they were all incensed, and they're telling me, like my mother used to tell me, you have to do this, you have to do that, and I resented it. So I missed my deadline, and I thought that, if they cut my pension in half.
Oh, just because you didn't file it.
Yeah, because you don't get the ancillary benefits, okay? So that's okay. They built up in the bank. I got them later.
Okay.
And And I thought the story was over because we had the City of Ottawa, under their emergency housing fund, pay my whole year's rent.
Oh yeah, was it just when COVID?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they do this every year. They have an emergency fund, but you have to go through this process that just before you get thrown out of your home, they come along and say, "Oh, here's the rent for the landlord." And they do it for Ottawa public housing. They do it for private housing, but the landlord has to agree. And I don't know how much money they gave them, but it was all said and done. And now on these new papers that I have to go to court for, probably in the new year, it says something about I still owe them money. And that can't be because the City of Ottawa paid the bill.
Yeah.
And
You have it in paperwork?
Oh, I got so much paperwork.
All
I
right.
have bags and bags
There you
and
go.
bags.
You're solid.
I don't throw anything out with my name on it.
Sounds like me.
I don't, because somebody might steal my identity. I don't have. I have a bank account, but I don't use it. I just use it to pay bills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.